if you're a hooper or just a fan of basketball and you're not watching these podcasts, you're missing out. You're missing out on a lot of knowledge about not just basketball, but just life in general. So going forward, mixed in with these hidden highlights, we're going to see some podcast reactions. I want to speak some knowledge that I have, kick some game. I want to learn too. And so today we got No Chill with Gil because they be going in depth on a lot of stuff. I don't know too much about Rashad McCants, but I'm about to learn a lot today. So always keep your eyes open, ears open, eyes open, so you can learn from different perspectives. And so let's get straight to it.
Welcome back to No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. As you can see, we back at the crib on the plush leathers. Feels good to be back home after the trip to D.C. Got a special guest today, McDonald's All-American. Took his talents to UNC where he led them to a national championship in 2005. Solid NBA career.
Jerseys he got in the background.
We're gonna get into that.
I don't know who crib this is. It may be Gil's,
overseas.
These jerseys got in the back is fire.
An MVP over there too as well, right?
Absolutely.
Look, we got some of my damn self.
Rashad McCants in the building.
Appreciate it.
Before we get to the interview, we got to just start with the fit. You came in here decked out with the crown, with the Kobe jacket, with the matching Kobe shoes. We're gonna really let y'all see.
Oh man,
this is what makes him legendary, bro. You always gonna remember him.
She got the matching fits, bro.
I gotta ask first though.
It's a
She
story,
got the
man.
matching
It's
fits,
a good
bro.
story.
And it's the fact these shits is custom too, bro. They custom.
We was in Vegas after the Big Three champion.
He brought a plain pair of Converses and a plain white jacket. Got them both custom. But hey, though, it's for Bean. So
Shit, right?
Okay.
And
for
me
Bean,
and my
though.
homeboy, we was at the Dre's nightclub, and somebody left one of those little Party City crowns in the booth, right? And I just kind of picked it up, I put it on, walking through the casino, everybody's saying something. This is your birthday, all that, and I'm like, whatever. Got in the Uber, asked the Uber driver, what if I had a real one like this? Would I look crazy? She's like, no, you actually look cool. And I looked them shit, so right then and there, man. And I ordered one, and I put it on, man, and then it fit. It fit my soul, man. It fit everything about me, man. So it's like, I got and ain't nobody else doing it. Can't nobody
how much y'all think that bid cost?
else pull it off. So
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't spending.
You're right, because no one like
I ain't
that's
spending
the
money on a
best part
crown, bro.
about
It's
you. Like,
crazy.
You
On
just
a
have
crown?
this whole different.
On a crown?
It's a whole different demeanor
Yeah.
that nobody is.
I'll be looking like Kendrick.
You know,
You seen Kendrick crown that had said Kendrick crown that he bought for his album cover cost about $1 million or something.
when
like
you see
1.2
someone
or
doing something and you
wild as hell.
like, they only have
insane.
the swag to do it. Everybody else will look goofy.
And I know people want to say
Yeah, I don't
something
wanna do
about it,
people
but
look
then
goofy, I
again,
ain't
it's
gonna
me. Like
I
for
look
years, it's been like
mad goofy.
against the grain. I always been against the grain. But like to wear the crown after winning the championship undefeated, you know what I'm saying? Winning, hitting the game winner, it was only fitting. It was like, until y'all knock me off the crown,
But that's the
you know what I'm
thing,
saying?
though.
It's mine. I'm gonna wear it.
But that's the thing, though. Everybody got something unique about them that's gonna separate them apart from everybody else. So whatever that is about you, I don't even know. Sometimes I don't even know about myself. I'm not so sure of it about myself. But if you keep experiencing life and keep experiencing things around you, you're gonna find whatever it is that makes you unique and sets you apart. And then once you find that, never let go of it.
I'm gonna stir some shit up. You know what I'm saying? I like doing that
You
too.
came in with the mask too, right? See, that's what that's the only reason. Like back then, the Big Three started off. Like when you was coming with the mask, I was like, damn, why didn't I think of that, man? I would have came into the season with a mask on, bro.
At the point then, it was like, we already
made the
won,
mask?
so it wasn't really no crazy motivation. To
So
go
all
like
this
back
Mass
to back
Mellow,
or
Mass
nothing like
Brown
that. I
stuff
wanted
we be seeing, it started by him. Hey,
everybody to feel what it felt like to like kind of
That's
revitalize that playing spirit
That's what we don't-
and
that's what
win
people don't
something,
talk about.
be about something. So the second year for me was about entertaining, bringing more fans in, bringing guys like you and Nate and them to want to play in it. So it was like, we have to give some type of entertainment value. And that was like, all right, I'm gonna wear the mask. We could promote ourselves any way we want to on this platform. I wanted more guys to understand that, like, you don't have to be so dry, you know what I'm saying? Be a character, come out, create some type of brand for yourself. And I think I did that when I was there, when I kind of amplify who could come in and watch us play, who was interested. Now everybody playing harder because it's an insult if a come out here with a mask on. Like, Nate was insulted, you know?
Hey, it's the people like this, the people that do these little subtle things that don't get put in the news or don't get put in the headlines, that walk. so people nowadays can run. They do these little things. They plant the little seeds, and all. Once they plant that seed, it begins to grow. It catches on to the right person, to the right superstar, the right person to make it blossom. And now everybody begins to thrive off of it. It's the little things people don't really talk about. That's why I like to watch these podcasts, because you learn these little things that people don't talk about.
But I came out here to insult you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna wear the crown every single game in the lobby while I'm eating. You're gonna be reminded every time that you can't beat me until you beat me, right? So I like to stir the pot.
Any thoughts about going full Coming to America, get the little flower girls with you to drop the rose petals on your joint wherever you want?
I'm waiting on that.
Okay.
We gotta get leveling up. Leveling up. We trying to be level up. You know what I'm saying? We gotta start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Come up here, kick it with Gil. Hopefully the flower girls was watching. You feel me?
So, I mean, we were gonna have to go debate. I mean, I think it's pretty evident who you rocking with. So I want to ask you, when you look at this GOAT conversation, is there any player currently who even has a chance or potential to get to that level, get into that debate?
Personally, my GOAT is Jordan. I've never said this before, but I just want to let y'all know, when I see GOAT and I hear best of all time, to me, those are two different things. Best is skill, greatness is dominance. To me, I ain't watched Jordan, I ain't grow up in the era, but looking at what he did, Jordan my GOAT.
Man, hell yeah.
Who you think?
Yeah.
But when you talk about this generation, though, future GOATs,
100%.
Okay.
I don't know, bro. I haven't seen we've yet. Personally, when we talk about GOATs and that mentality it takes to be like that Jordan, that Kobe, that mentality. I don't know if we see that in today's generation so much. Like, of course, people play competitive, but how addictive are these players to the game? And that's when I'm like, once I see a player like that, mix it with the skill and the talent, then I'm like, okay, he could be the GOAT.
Luke.
And on top of that, dominance, like I said, to be able to dominate the league, and I don't know if that'll happen with the amount of skill that's still in the league today. So, only time will tell, though.
Good.
Only time will tell.
You gotta kind of say Giannis.
Giannis
just
for sure.
because
Giannis,
of
one of them.
the size. It ain't so much the skill set. It's kind of like where the game has evolved to. So he's gonna be one of those guys. You got
And how
Durant,
just dominant he
who
is.
always gonna be there. But I like to break the game down more than when you talk about GOATs. People ask me who's the hardest person you ever had to guard.
Yeah.
I say Gilbert Arenas, and they say, really? And I'm like, he's a GOAT.
People need to stop putting.
When I look,
People be putting mad smut on Gil's name all because he had that gun in the locker room. Jit be hooping. One of these days we're gonna do a whole breakdown on Gilbert Arenas. Actually, we're gonna spend a whole stream on Gilbert Arenas. When I start streaming, when I'm gonna be on Twitch, I'm gonna do a whole stream breaking down Gilbert Arenas.
it's people who you could not stop. They had to stop themselves. AI, Tracy, Vince.
And I ain't
like the
watching too
people
much, so
who were
I'ma
just
learn too.
dominant in their skill set, didn't have to really go in there and hone their skills and be in the gym, just show up like Booby Miles. You know what I'm saying? Those were GOATs to me. These are guys who could go out there and try anything and it looked good, you know, and still play the game and know the game. So my GOATs are always going to be different when it comes to that, like, you know, the Kobe's, the Gilberts, the Paul Pierces, you know, Hakeem Olajuwons, you know, people who got the skill set to back up the talk.
So you know what's so funny? When you look at media picks versus player picks, always different, right? Because the players are the ones that's actually guarding each other. So when you hear people say different names, the people look at stats and be like, those stats ain't what you need to be looking at. It's like how you have to guard this person, how we had to prepare for this person. So I remember, you remember that year?
Before he gets to this point, for me though, when I speak on basketball and I hear other people talk about basketball, how it was to guard this person, how it was to do this and that, I say forget the stats, and I take into account the word to mouth, what people talk about, how hard it was to guard a player, what they did, their habits, all this little stuff. And I say forget all the stuff that these reporters want to talk about, all the stats, the statistics, the analytics, all these little things. Be like, if you look at the numbers, and if we look at the numbers by the player efficiency rating and the plus minus and the net field goal, I'm like, bro, shut up. I don't want to hear it. word of mouth and the eye test. I watch hoops. I hear people talk about how it's actually to play hoops, and I just forget. I say forget about all these ESPN reporters and whatever who talk about stats and say this player is the best. If you look at the numbers, forget that. Forget all that stuff.
I'm not taking anything away from
All that stuff is maybe like that's at the bottom of my list when it comes to being able to rank players.
Curry's first MVP. Players voted James Harden, right? So they said because James Harden was actually harder to guard that year, plus Dwight Howard was done, he had to carry the team, and they were still second in the West with nobody on his team. That's the MVP. But they gave it to Curry, who had like 5 games. He was 5 games better. But it was one of those things where if you look at the players versus the media, it's totally different.
Man, I love that conversation because you get a lot of the loud mouths that don't play that side with the stat side.
I listen to the people who play.
You don't know how hard it is to guard a Gilbert. You don't know how
All
hard it
because
is to guard
all because you see me sitting here on this camera. I'm just trying to kick game. I'm just trying to kick games to whoever it is. I'm just trying to chill, whatever, learn new things, kick game, all that stuff. I'm just trying to do that. But don't mean I'm trying to side with all these people be doing the statistics, don't know about the game. I watch hoops every day for the past 6-7 years, and I hooped up until college. But now I want to switch it up. But I don't side with that. I listen to the
Luka
players
or Ja
way more
by yourself on the island, and that's why I say when we were playing, the schemes that were set, the counters that had to be measured, it was harder to guard guys because we were playing.
The least I could do is listen to the players since I ain't been the one who played. So
team ball, but also depending on our best defender. And when you're a good offensive player, you look through everybody. So it ain't even like you're not even thinking of no scheme. You thinking where I'm gonna get my shot. And so you look at the game today, and it's like it's more open. Guys can do what they want to do and go where they want to go. They don't know how to defend it because it's a coaches league still, but it's turning and becoming a players league where the players can open up the floor. The big men can now shoot threes. The guards need to start posting up more because it'll open their games up.
I wish I would see that.
But
more.
it's where the
If
players
guards
can
will post up
dictate
more.
where they want the one-on-one and the ISO
wish.
to be. And now you need players coaching those players. Coaches can't coach those because it's a dinosaur game.
Yeah. People don't really.
There's always
there's
always a perspective of things that a player, a coach, whatever it is, whatever part of basketball that you're in, they all have some sort of unique perspective. And so if you close yourself off from any aspects of that, then you're just limiting yourself. You got to always give your ear. Always give your ear to whoever's talking, understand it, and then learn what to take from it and what to throw out.
great. You need these.
Some stuff will be goofy. Some stuff would actually be useful. But if it's something goofy, that's why you got to understand it first. Then maybe you could throw it out.
And it's there's no offense against some of these older coaches.
We hated to play ball like that. Think about it.
Like it's a clash right now because we clash.
Yes.
Against those same coaches.
We didn't want to do that.
Right?
We want to hoop.
So now you have hoopers in the league now. You got to remember, when you're talking about when we played, that 4-man and that 3-man was usually designed for damn near defense.
Yes.
You got to remember, your Bruce Bowens, was it Avery Ivory, the guard from Atlanta? Or Roy Ivory. They put him in for 4 or 5 minutes, right? You can't do that in today's game. Those Bruce Bowens are, like, they try. Those old school coaches are trying it, and you wonder why your player, 35 minutes, 4 points, getting mollywopped. You're off because the person he's guarding is trying to go for 30. So you got 30 versus this 4, right? And he played great defense, right? So it's like you need the generation that just left to go back and coach these kids. But if you look at all the players' coaches, the Willie Greens and all of them, they're succeeding because they understand this game. Them older coaches, y'all are
old
out.
Heads,
It's outdated. It's like
them old heads don't open their ears. They stuck in their ways, bro. So you got to be careful of the old heads that you be listening to. If you listen to the old head that's stuck in their ways, not willing to give something else a try, you know, that's the wrong OG you talking to right there.
Like even like somebody like who was a great coach, was it Avery Johnson?
Yeah.
It's like having him coach right now. Like that.
Wayne Casey.
Yeah, like
Detroit. Your old ass out of here.
the game has moved 2 decades from them, but
He didn't have to throw a straight at
they're
Dwayne
still-
Casey.
They're holding the players back. The ones that need to be thriving should be playing fast-paced ball or being held back because they're still trying to play college structured ball where you run a play. And like we already see, there's a rift between Jason Kidd and Luka because Jason Kidd is still a fossilized coach, but he's a player. But he knows that Luka holds the ball too much, right? He's not doing enough passing to get guys open. Well, he has to pass because he ain't open, right? And so you look at these other coaches who are fossilized and they're forcing this stagnant movement. Guards be in the corners. Y'all do the one-on-one pick and roll until somebody switch off. Then we're going to get a random shot and we're going to get back on defense.
We all know the Dallas Mavericks. We know Luka. You think Luka, with that squad, the way he plays, will be able to win the ring? Me? Nah, he's gonna need another superstar. But hey, who knows? And on top of that, these old coaches won't let the game evolve. This, not even just the whole world is about evolution. Everything should evolve. If you try to limit some things into a certain space, it's just not good for how just the world. If you just try to limit it, if you don't try to grow, it's just not good. I don't see why you try to hold something in the box. And that's what these coaches are doing to the game. All these players evolve and they find new ways to get better. They're exploring the game in new ways. So, but some of these old school coaches, maybe some of these old school players, even then, they won't even let the game evolve. So,
Like that's weekend, but the teams that you see that are exciting, they moving the ball, they shooting the ball fast, they just going, they playing like we play in the summertime.
Yep.
And that's the game. That's the kind of game we grew up playing anyway.
Have you ever seen Ben Simmons in the summer?
the Grizzlies.
Going crazy.
What?
Going crazy.
See, when I defend him, I'm like, yo, do y'all understand how good this man is when he's free?
Yep. He actually shoots jumpers.
On his back telling him what to do.
Bro, he shoots.
He shoots jumpers. That shit be going in. You be like, Ben, you got that?
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things where it's like, yo, the reason we see greatness, like I remember we watch summer basketball, right? We watch who has it. Like there's some superstars that's scared of what we call mediocre players.
This still
in
don't change the
NBA.
fact I
NBA
think Ben should shoot with his right hand.
mediocre,
I think his
a
shot would be even better.
superstar in
He can
today's
shot with his
game
right hand.
will be scared of this mediocre player at UCLA.
For sure. When there's no coaching,
Then there's
restraints on them. Like, yeah, these dudes play free.
You would never know he's a
That's why you see certain players leave teams, switch teams, and then it's like, oh my gosh, since they missed out on him, they nah. It's just the coach. The coach let him get free. The coach let the player get free. Cause now once that coach, the new coach they got gives them the confidence and says, go out and play. You're free to make mistakes. You're free to make mistakes. That's the thing. Making mistakes is what's gonna help you grow. If you're scared to make mistakes, you won't grow. Cause when you make mistakes, that's when you're able to learn what you're not good at, your weaknesses, and what you need to sharpen up on. But if you're scared to make those mistakes, you're not gonna grow. You're not gonna learn nothing. So make mistakes. Try to do something that may be so difficult that you're gonna mess up, and then you're gonna keep trying to do it and get better at it every time. And watch how much you're gonna grow. Just because you're not scared to mess up. See mistakes as a lesson.
You would never know.
But that was even like we were coming up. I'm sure we all know dudes who could have went to the league and for whatever it may be, they couldn't just hang in a coach's system or deal with that bullshit that comes with it. I think that's what a lot of people who don't understand, like that side of it. When you see dudes playing free in the summer and getting to do whatever they want, now you get on a team and coach is like, you can't do that shit. You can't do this.
But what are you not seeing?
Just having the right coach.
That's what are you not? If this is what he's doing, and when he's with you, this is how he plays. That's your issue, coach.
That's the coach fault. Because if I'm the coach, I'm looking at all my talent, all my players on my roster, and how can I get the best out of each player that I got on the roster? So all because you coach a player this certain way, and you try to coach another player this certain way, they're two different people. You can't coach them the same exact way. You may have to just tell one guy this thing so you get the best out of him, tell him something else so you get the best out of this other player. But if you try to just say, oh, we're just gonna do this, fix, everything's gonna be fixed, and you're not gonna be able to get the best out of every player. That's why you see certain coaches be able to have players be able to thrive from 1 through 9. Like a team like Boston, every player on that team is clicking and going, and I guarantee you that the culture that Brad Stevens, Udoka, and now Mazzulla is built with that franchise and that coaching staff, that they know how to let the players be free. And we heard about, I just seen a quote, it was from Grant Williams. It was like Joe Mazzulla would literally call a timeout and not say a word. Not say a word. People are saying, oh, that's not a head coach. You're not doing his job. Your coach is supposed to coach. But when you're on that court and it's 5-on-5 and that crowd is booming and you can't hear your coach for like a single word, it literally comes down to the 10 players that's on the court. It's literally a 5-on-5. So now that Joe Mazzulla is doing that now in the regular season, imagine how they're gonna play in the playoffs. Imagine how good they're going to be in the playoffs just because Joe Mazzulla allowed those 5 players to be able to coach themselves in certain situations. And now they get to the playoffs where coaching almost becomes a non-factor except for schemes and whatnot. And now look how much Boston's going to be. So don't be surprised if you see Boston win the chip in these next couple of years.
Yes.
If he's a
My prediction, within the next 3.
99 in this type of system, and he's a 64 in yours,
Granted, they keep the solid roster together, injuries, whatnot.
what are you
So
doing?
I give him 3.
James Wiseman.
Oh.
How the hell is James Wiseman in the G League?
Like I said before, bro, when you got young players on a squad, when you got young players on a competitive team, guess what the coaches guess how much your decisions are gonna weigh every time you make a play. They're gonna have so much weight, you're not gonna be able to make mistakes because you're on a competitive team. If you got a young guy on a competitive team, it's hard to play him because in order for those young guys to get better, they got to make mistakes. But if you're competitive, you don't got time for players to be making mistakes. So now a player like Wiseman gets to the game, makes a mistake, gets right back out the game, and doesn't get the chance to learn on it and be able to improve on it. So that's the tough part about it. Even with Kuminga, even with all these young guys, so it just be tough in general.
When he could be out here playing 99, running up and down with Steph Curry.
A Warriors question. I'm sure
It
Warriors
was so
fans
funny
will
is-
continue.
But it's how a coach can hide a player because, like you said, if you're a bad coach, he's 99 playing out here against the top guys like it's All-Star weekend at UCLA every summer. It's like, if you thrive in there, because guys ain't just letting you, like, hoop, like, it's deep, they playing. Rico not going to let you out here just be out here. Man, you playing. And if you can thrive at UCLA, we know you're going to be an All-Star. You next up. We like, oh, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's him.
That's him.
But hey, the run didn't always
You
used
get
to
to
be
the
like that, and
wrong
that's what I really credit Rico for. He was my college teammate at UCLA, but he really brought some organization to it. There got a point where it got sloppy. Dudes were just showing up to get a sweat and stop giving a But now he has these dudes locked in, and literally they know they got the cameras in there. Now if you get embarrassed, like, it's going on the internet.
Oh, yeah, you
It's
done.
going on the internet.
But this,
Like some of them KJ Martin posters this past off season. Them joints was bad.
there's also things like this. A great coach might be a great guard coach.
Yeah,
Horrible big man coach.
absolutely.
Great big man coach, horrible guard coach. Great wing coach, so people don't think about that. Like, you have
So now he's gonna try to coach the guard like you do the big, but don't make sense. You coach in 2 different positions, 2 different mindsets, 2 different approaches to the game.
to look at what type of a system a player, a coaches runs to understand. Like Golden State, we see 1, 2, 3, they're goats. So Draymond Green finds his way to be great, but they've never been great at the 4-5. In a sense where their 4-5 has never been a dominant position where we're going to get 20 points, 15 points out of this. No, it's made for them that 1, 2, 3. That 1, 2, y'all are getting that baby. You know what I mean? But that's some offenses.
And if they did have that,
I
it may
like
mess up
those
that squad.
offenses compared to
entirely.
the ones that stagnate and hold the ball, right? Because we so used to seeing the game being played the right way. We say play the game the right way, but then we want to see an evolution of the game too. But keep the discipline.
Yep.
Keep the discipline. You're gonna be a Chuck. You gotta make them shots. If you're gonna be a Chuck, right? But if you're not, you gotta show us you know the game. Show us you could play the game and not be selfish, but break the offense and make something happen. You know what I'm saying? We like those I call them the master ballers. Like, you know, in game crunch time, you a gamer, a master ball. Gil got it.
Yep.
We know he gonna do something to either get his shot off or get somebody open. That's a gamer. You know what I'm saying? And
The last 5 minutes.
we mistake a lot of like credit to certain guys for what they do based on stats instead of being a player, a hooper, and a gamer.
This episode.
He was talking facts though, but you got to skip this one right quick.
So we talk about bigs now, being able to handle and do these things. Obviously, I don't know if you've seen Wemby ball at all. What do you think his ceiling can be in the NBA? I know everybody's super excited, but for actual hoopers that understand this game and seeing what he's doing, how do you think that's going to translate?
He may even be, some people may be like, oh, they're hyping him up, all he can do is 7'4" and shoot. But he moves at 7'4" like a guard, like a legit guard. So like, I'm assuming that as he grew up, instead of these coaches that are in front of him telling him to, oh, get down the paint, do hook shots, rebound the ball, go lift some, go bench press, go do all these things that are conventional to the tall player. He just did what the guards would like, what guards would do. And so now that he's been doing what guards do, he has that coordination regardless of how tall he is. So seeing like really who set this wave though was KD. Because Vic is like what, 19, KD early mid 30s. So think about it. He probably seen KD coming up. It was like, oh, he's doing this. He could do this and that. Now I could do this too. And he was in the right hands of the right coaches. So now they just gave him the freedom to do him. And now he's in position to be probably the greatest prospect of all time.
Into the NBA game.
We just watched Bobo. We'll be able to see what he gonna do.
Yeah.
I think Bobo is one of the greatest
Opportunity,
I've
Bobo.
ever seen. At that size, and seeing him since high school.
I'm telling you.
So to see another.
We got a great one. I'm an Orlando Magic fan, by the way, from Orlando. So we got one in Bobo, and we got another one in Paulo and France.
The one to him that's a little bit
And a sleeper in Markelle Fultz.
smoother, can shoot that thing a little bit more, you know,
And Cole Anthony.
automatic.
Let me stop, though. I ain't going
scary,
This is not
scary
about Magic right now.
So you're creating players somewhere.
You know the fun thing about Bobo is, as impressive as he is, we can't be impressed because we already knew that.
Yep.
Some of us did.
I'm telling you, he was in Denver, and like I said, like with James Wiseman, when you're on a competitive team as a young guy, you can't make mistakes, and mistakes is the key to growth. So what's gonna happen when you put a young guy in the game and they making mistakes? They make one mistake, they get out the game, they're not able to learn from it and correct it, so they could be able to get better and improve. But now he's on the Magic, he can make all the mistakes that he wants. All the mistakes that he wants, because they're not competitive. They're not a competitive team, so that's got to be the driving force every night. Be okay to make mistakes, but make sure that you learn from them. And so now you're seeing Bobo play free, expose his talent, but also expose his weaknesses. But now he sees his weaknesses, he's going to improve upon them.
A lot of people were hating on Bo.
They were hating on. So
they're hating on Bo. I'm trying to figure out what were they watching.
it was no. No one's ever questioned his game. It was him. You got to remember, you're sitting what 7'2", 7'3".
Lazy as hell.
Lazy as hell.
Lazy as hell.
I don't need to work out.
Cool,
I'm
man.
cool, and that's what ended up happening. So you're talking about a kid who was literally supposed to be top 5.
Man, better than everybody.
He was.
But he had the foot injury at Oregon that made him drop to the second round.
But there's no way he should have been a second round pick.
It's Bobo.
So they just used it.
Foot or not.
They just
landed on
used
the
his
Magic.
demeanor towards
on
the
the Magic.
process,
Yep.
right? The process of I don't need to work out for you guys. So that's what I was hearing he was doing a lot. He didn't want to work out for certain groups. He didn't want to practice. He didn't want to train. So now watching him, I think what happened was they turned that heat on his ass and
going to the deep, he gonna do that. He's down there like, man, they not even looking at me. I still can't come up there.
Yeah.
He probably thought it was all sweet. He got drafted. He was like, man, I'm in the league. I'm chilling. Boom, got traded to Boston. Then boom, got traded again. He was like, oh, this can actually go left. Like, I can actually be gone. I could be out of here. So mix that in with to roster the opportunity, and then his mindset and his approach. Now he's like, okay, I got to get right.
Then he get with the Orlando Magic with Pablo. Boy, he looked good out there.
Yeah, he do.
I mean, it's refreshing to see because a lot of people like ourselves were big on Bobo, kind of got that hate. Now a lot of people are shutting up, changing their tune, deleting a lot of tweets. I'm seeing it in real life happening. Because I used to roll with Bobo. Oh, are you crazy? What? It's like, no, man. I'm looking at this dude. What he's doing at 7'2", and to your point, he not the screamer, yeller, whatever. He may not look like he cared, but shit, when I see him push that ball up the court and shoot threes and do all that other shit, like this man cares.
Now it makes us wonder. Denver.
I was just thinking that.
Now him, Jokic, MP,
What was y'all thinking?
and Murray.
What? Y'all gave him away.
Telling you, young player, first couple years in the league, had to make mistakes to grow. Because some players, they got to make more mistakes than others. Bull couldn't make mistakes. Anytime he got on the court, they're a competitive team. They trying to win a chip. They got an MVP candidate in Jokic, all-star level player in Murray, and then another high-level talent, Porter Jr. But then you get Bull coming in, ain't play a year at Oregon, had that foot injury at Oregon. So what? How's his life been look like in terms of basketball? He's got to get his rhythm back. Get your rhythm back. Make mistakes on a competitive team. You hit the bench. That's what it is. You can't afford to make mistakes when you
just look at that squad.
I guess sometimes when kids come in so young, you know, we have that type of league where you have 2 to 3 years to show me something. If you don't show me something, then I want to get rid of you. Not knowing that maybe that 4th year he needed that to turn it over.
This is what we were talking about earlier. Coaches League, Players League. Players League not gonna allow that to happen. Bobo play right away. Why did we get him in the first round? Why did we make sure we got him for a reason? And if he's good enough to go out there and showcase his skill and play, let him play.
Yeah.
A player's gonna know that. We're not on this stubborn ass, well, I'm a coach, I don't like rookies playing and let them play in second half only and second quarter only. I've been a part of that. Yeah. It's some bullshit.
You got to also put some accountability on the player too, because if the player is scared to go out there and make mistakes, and now they're trying too hard not to mess up, they're messing themselves up because they're not doing all their talents. They're just trying to do what the coaches tell them to do. They're trying to be right instead of being them. If you try to be right on the court instead of trying to be who you are as a player, you already done messed yourself up. Because if you try to just be accustomed to the coach, you're trying too hard to do something you're not. You're being uncharacteristic. So do something that's you instead of trying to be like somebody else.
You're right. You're right.
That's some bull.
You're right.
And then it don't make them look no better as a coach. You still a dummy. You still don't know X's and O's because you letting the players who can play, who prove in practice they deserve, you don't even give them a shot.
And that's also why you got to have that F it mindset. Just say F it. I'm going to go hoop. I'm going to forget what the coach is thinking. Forget what they're going to say when I hit the bench, when I made a mistake. Listen to them. But don't, all because they're yelling in your ear, don't mean that they ain't saying something that's real. Listen to that again. If you a hooper, all because your coach may be yelling in your ear, don't think about how he's saying it. Think about what they're saying. Don't take it to heart either. I'm telling you, don't do that. You're going to mess yourself up. I'm telling you, you're going to mess yourself up. I learned the hard way. Take away the emotion out of what they're saying. Take away the frustration. All that yelling. Just listen to the words. Block out the tone. And then watch how you're going to be able to go perform when you go out and hit that court again.
You got this man in the G League? How? You got James Wiseman in the G League? He's better than Zubac is playing, bro. Like, this is all the guys. It's like, what?
The other guards like Hanley, Hardy, he scored like 40-something last night. Like, why are these kids in the G League? Stop this shit. Stop this shit already. Like, your team ain't that good for that kid to be. He should be getting, but that's the whole theory of this. 2005, you came in 2005, 2006, right?
Yep.
So after my rookie season, draft is coming up, right? This is where Yao Ming, Jay Will, right? Jay Will, and Dung.
Yes, my bottle beat up. Been through trials and tribulations. But we're going to thug it out to the end.
Levy, right? Top 3. Golden State tells me, there's like, I remember Otis, he was like, yeah, we're trying to get the number 2 pick. We need a guard. I am the point guard. What are you talking about? I'm rookie of the month. So like, right? I'm rookie. I was rookie of the month at the end. This is what I left with, you know. And then it was like, yeah, but he's the number 2 pick. So I said, what if I beat him out? What if he can't beat me? They was like, he's the number 2 pick. Now that's cool. But if he's not better than me,
he just tried him.
He gets in front of me. They said with the number 2 pick in the NBA draft, he automatically gets the starting position. And I said, even if he's not better than me, I said, how do I keep my spot? They said, you're gonna have to triple his production.
Not double. You got to
Triple. It has to be such a distance. And he said this, even with a distance, you're still splitting time.
Number 2 pick.
Number
That's
2 pick.
goofy.
Is that more ego shit because they feel like they're gonna look
That's
bad?
goofy.
Because for me, it'd be like, look, we got to steal with Gil. Only it's number 2, whatever you do.
Think about this. It's like it's business, but for a hooper, it's horrible. If I make 500,000 and he makes 20 million, my talent has no. He getting on that court. I'm putting my 20 million in.
100%. I had that conversation.
That's dumb.
Rookie transition.
That's just dumb.
Program,
That's just not smart.
The RTP shit that we have, every rookie has to go through it, right? So Dante was speaking at ours, and Dante got up there, and it was after his rookie year. And he said that.
Hold on, really, just think about that again. I just really thought about that again. If I'm a coach, I don't care how much a player is getting paid. If a player on the bench is better than the player I got starting, the player that's better, not just as a talent, but as for the team as a whole and what they can produce, they're going to play because they're going to get the wins. You get the wins, and you get more money. So forget the player contract. Think about the team as a whole. What's going to be the best for this team? And if a coach is doing that to a player, then they just holding you back.
He said, I don't know if y'all think it's sweet up here, but y'all gonna go through some shit that's gonna bother you a lot. He said, you're gonna be kicking that dude's ass that's in front of you. You're gonna be kicking his every single practice. You're gonna be smoking him, and you're not gonna see the floor. And everybody laughing, but he's straight faced like, y'all think I'm playing? Y'all think I'm playing? Like, you're gonna be killing, and you're not gonna see the floor, and it's gonna bother you. And he was like, listen to me very carefully. He said, the reason is because that guy getting paid $15 million, and you are a rookie. They gotta pay that man. And if he ain't on the floor, then coach is getting that earful. Coach don't want to hear that. Play the young fella or play the old fella. Whoever it is to play, that's who you play. Whoever you paying, that's who you playing.
Shit, I got hit with even one worse.
I couldn't coach. If the GM's telling me, oh, put this dude in because we just paid him, but even though we paid him, we're going to be sacrificing wins. I don't know about that one.
You killing him in practice, huh? Like, hell yeah. How much you get paid for practice? I don't know how my contract works, but I think 0. Exactly. I don't give a what you do to him in practice. Are you gonna outplay him in the game? I was like, if you give me some time. Nah. He said who you think you're better than gets played to perform in a game. You here to do whatever you want to do in practice, and I'm sitting here like, I got depressed. Like, I ain't gonna never crack this.
I didn't know how to take it my rookie year because a lot of people don't know. We didn't come up in the YouTube era, so it ain't a lot of the low level stats that can come up or highlights. But like, I used to run the second quarter. Like, the second quarter was mine against every single team, right? Because I had to go against you guys were like, every 2 guard in the league was stacked. So it was a hard night for me regardless, whenever I got in. But when I got in against y'all second unit, whatever team, it was lunchtime. I knew I had my night, or whoever I had in the starter.
Looking like Benedict Mathurin with the Pacers right now. They're telling people he should get Rookie of the Year. I don't think somebody should get Rookie of the Year averaging 20 points against the second unit. Now, mind you, he is playing against the first unit a little bit, but if you're gonna try to get over Paolo, who's still averaging 22 and 8, while being the number one guy on the game plan, on the defense, on the other teams, what you call it? Other teams. Damn, I don't forget who. So line scouting report. On the other team's scouting report, he's a number one player on the other team's scouting report, and he's still averaging 22 and 8. Gotta give it to him, bro. I just couldn't give it to Mathurin.
I knew but whoever was on that bench, lights out. So the second quarter was my quarter. And the coaches would hate to call my number because I was so efficient with the points per minute. Like I had to get mine off. And I knew like if I wasn't gonna play the second half, I was only gonna play the second quarter. So at one point I averaged like 12 points for the second quarter. And that was like 2006.
See, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
like, how do you not? How does that not register? If he's scoring 12 points in a quarter,
Dwayne Casey was brand new as a head coach coming from under Nate McMillan.
I hate them.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he had the old school mentality. And KG kind of bought into that shit kind of.
Look, let's do the math. 12 a quarter. If you say he only played one quarter, but that one quarter he just gave it all out. 12 that second quarter. But now say you're playing them throughout 4 quarters, you give them like 30 minutes a night. Okay. I know we could get a quarter where he gets 9 or he's super efficient. He's playing a long duration, kind of like he did before. All right, so say that second quarter he plays longer, he gets 9 instead. Get some time in the first quarter. That's another 4, 13. Boom, has another longer length quarter in the second half. Say that be the third quarter. Boom, another 7. That's 20. Add that 20 to another 3 to however much, depending if he's the closer of the game. That's 20 plus points a game. That's 20 plus points a game right there. I don't know.
Pissed me off too because he didn't trust me, right? And he wanted to, but I wasn't spree. He needed another spree, right? But I had the talent, but I was just young. He's like, I can't trust this young nigga. And Wally, you know, he
was a Zerbiak.
Wally, you know, he wanted to chase he was Clay before Clay. You know what I'm saying?
Clay.
Like, man, people don't know Wally was Clay before Clay. So for me to get,
that ball.
When it comes to these old players, I hear their names and I'm just like, I kind of heard it, but I don't really know the game though.
He will take it out your hand and shoot it. Like, and so I had to find, when I was finding my niche and like really like tickets started to see and everybody started, Dwayne Casey just didn't know what to do. Right? He didn't believe in rookies. He didn't. It wasn't nothing about that. He was trying to get his thing with tickets. So it was like once you get that coach that don't understand how it is to be a player, like you can help the team win down the stretch and we get stuck down the stretch because you got Trenton Housel in the game. And you know what I'm saying? Like you giving up another 12 points just because you want you want to make sure ticket is good because Trenton is tickets man and. Trenton is a defensive stopper, but not really, you know what I'm saying?
I love these. I'm just
He was he was drafted in front of me.
So I already know you got issues.
Oh, Lord.
I already know
Trent
you got
had
issues.
game, man. He was all right, man.
I mean, everybody
he
makes
wasn't no
believe.
goddamn Gilbert. Who look at no Gilbert now?
Too young.
You know me, it's like
I'm a little too young.
you're good up until a certain point in the game, then you're actually you're not as valuable as you thought you were.
Right.
Like just a straight defensive player, right? Just they can't put the ball in the basket. They have no interest in putting the ball in the basket. When the last 5 minutes come in the game, right?
They need to get a bucket.
Why do I have you on the court to stop a pure offensive score? Right? You're going to score 0 to 2 points. He's going to have 10 to 14 points. How? I need to match his score. I need to close this gap.
Yep.
That matchup plus minus is the only thing in the box score that I'll pay attention to. I wish they put that separate. Like a player who's matched it for the starting fives or whatever, whoever they're matched up against, I want to be able to see their plus minuses throughout each matchup throughout the game. Being the primary defender, as the primary defender on that player. So that's something I'm interested in seeing.
Because on defense, if I can't shoot, what the hell you doing on defense?
Spaced out. I'm chilling.
Yeah, you chilling.
I'm about to recharge for the second attempt.
I ain't got to guard this man right here.
Give it back. Give it back.
It's like that case where Luka just dropped 60, but Grimes had 33. Luka could afford to give Grimes that 33 because he dropped 60, 21, and 10. 10 assists on that other side. So he was responsible for over 70 points. Grimes, on the other hand, had that 33. So what is he, like minus 40, around minus 40? Do the numbers.
What they don't understand that
Luka cleared that matchup. Luka cleared that matchup, regardless of that 33.
you're getting him tired, but you're not realizing because this man cannot score the ball, he gets to rest.
Genius.
He gets to rest.
This is what he think about when he playing. Though.
Yes,
Like,
if I wanna-
I ain't got to guard you. I'm about
I
to
got to guard you. If I want to get you tired, I need to Curry, run around, get him tired of he gonna post him up. On offense, I want him to run through these screens. Let him hit some of these screens. So that's the defense. The defense is not putting him on some guy who just sits in the corner and I ain't got to do nothing. You're guarding your own self at this point. So it's like when teams do that, like I remember, like even with our Lakers, you got 3 people on there that don't shoot the ball.
Come on, man.
That means we have 2 offensive players playing against 5 defensive players. How?
No sense.
How?
It's the wrong player coach. It's the wrong player coach.
Bro, that court had no space whatsoever, bro. All crammed up inside the lane, inside the arc. That should be disgusting.
You got to step into the fold. But Rashad, I want to ask you, how tough is that going from being the man of UNC, winning the national championship? Now you got to come to the league and really trying to earn it again, playing on the squad with Kevin Garnett. Obviously, it's his team, and trying to earn his loyalty, his trust, that you could be out there on the floor with him.
It was more winning about, for me, it was how we wanted Carolina and the mentality we had, right? Coming into the league and starting over, just kind of like leaving high school to college. Yeah. You finding out it's kind of done a different way. You like, damn, you ain't got to do that much shit here. We ain't got to do shit. Okay, cool. You get to the league, you like, man, we got to do everything on your own. Like, you got to get your work in. Yeah. Like, it's up to you.
The thing about me, personally, when I was hooping, I like doing things on my own. That's just how I was. I like to be able to get in the gym on my own, get my shots up whenever I feel on my own, go lift the weights on my own. I like doing stuff on my own, but people have different preferences. Whatever is best for you. If you want to have a long career in basketball, better be prepared to do stuff on your own, off your own motivation, and off your own discipline. Because if you end up reaching that pro level, there's not always going to be that person to go nudge you to go put some work in or go take things to the next level or to go watch some film. You got to want to do that stuff yourself. And the second that there's nobody there to nudge you and you never want to do it for yourself, you're going to realize that you're not in the right spot. You're not in the right spot you wanted to be. So best be careful.
First thing I learned was it was a man's league. So all they kept saying, it's a man's league, youngin'. Like, we ain't tolerate none of this crybaby. We ain't babysitting you. You learn the plays. You don't get them wrong. You don't play. Get your schemes right. Learn everything. So Ticket became the homie right away. So he took me under his wing, showed me everything. Man, I got to really let loose because of Ticket's, his personality is one that people don't understand, right? Because he go off on the hinges all the time. He high energy all the time. Yeah. But, he told me the secret to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to, once you start something, you can't tone it down. You got to be consistent. So being able to see him react and
you're not consistent, you're going to fall off.
That's how I played.
Yeah.
And so it brought a lot of that out on me. So when I checked in the game, I was bumping, boom, what's up? Yeah, foul right here. I got my first one. I got 6 more. 5 more. I got 5 more. Like, that was my whole thing. Whoever I was guarding, I wanted them to know, like, I got to make a name for myself, right? And I got to let the referees know how to play ball on the defensive side. And I got to let these dudes discard me know, hey, when I'm in the game, ain't no rest for you. This ain't no rest if you down here torturing him, you come down here on me. Oh, it's up. It's up.
Hey, one team in today's NBA that's low-key good at this that you probably never even noticed. At setting the tone defensively, the Toronto Raptors. They play some of the most, physical defense, as physical as you could in today's game. And since they do it out the gate and they do it every single game, night to night, the refs don't call the same fouls that they do for, say, the Los Angeles Lakers or for whatever other team, for the Charlotte Hornets or the Dallas Mavericks. They don't call the same fouls they get on defense. Like, there's plays you could watch the Raptors where, like, Anunoby or Scotty Barnes would be hand checking and hands all on hand, like, right in their waist when they driving with their hands. They don't call no foul. They set the tone out the gate. They pressing up into you. They setting the tone out the gate. So now the rest are like, all right, we can't just call this every play. It's only gotta be the ones where they see it's a big impact on the direction of movement. So setting the tone is important in the course of a game.
I'm going at your neck. So that was always my mentality. And going from college to pro was literally like a wake-up call from basketball to business. You learn it's a business. It's not the game that you played, that you love, that you grew up. You learn that you cannot play because you don't come in here and shake this person's hand, or you don't smile, or you're not participating in this NBA cares, or this like things that could pile up to things. It's like, well, he's not really engaging. He don't smile much. The guys really don't interact with him. So you got to kind of play both games. You got to be the locker room guy. You got to be the community guy. You got to learn what the game is being played. Because a lot of times the guys will say, man, you got to play the game.
Play the game within the game.
And you ask, what the hell is the game? And everybody give you the same answer, like, you know the game, man. You go, no, I don't. So you wait till you 20 years down the line, and you sitting there and you looking like, so this is the game.
Jit look like the baby. What the hell? Why that shit just come?
20 years down the line, you sitting there and you looking like.
You tell me he don't look like the baby. Hey, bro, you asked me, bro. You asked me. If you ask me, they look related. That's his, I don't know, but that's something. That's something.
That was the game. That's all I had to do. Shut the up. Just shut up.
No.
Just shut up and collect your bread and do your thing.
On the certain teams, right? So I remember watching your swag and attitude, right? And it's only great when you're winning, right? When you're winning, he's a winner. He's a winner. He has the winning
spirit,
attitude, the winning spirit. Like when you're on the losing team and you got a bunch of losers on your team, a bunch of people who don't know how to work, it rubs them the wrong way.
Wow, bro.
Oh, he's just a bad attitude. He's a bad apple. He wants to come in and work early. He wants to come in and take extra shots. He telling me I ain't passing the ball enough. He telling me I ain't playing defense. I don't want to play with this guy.
What?
Think about Jimmy Butler. Bad locker room guy in Chicago. Bad locker room guy in Minnesota. Now he's a hell of a player in Miami. How? How does it change? Oh, because that's a winning program. That's what they want. That's what they want.
Yes,
you got to remember, lazy don't want to be told they lazy.
Accountability.
We don't want to be accountable.
People don't want to know the truth. People don't want to know the truth. But at the end of the day, you are going to know the truth. Whether you want to tell some people certain thing, you're going to know deep down inside if you're telling the truth. And if you're not telling the truth, you're going to know if you're not telling the truth. So don't hide from it. Don't run from it. Embrace your truth and live your truth. Or else you're going to crumble from the inside.
I'm not even going to lie. Anything in life.
Listen,
any industry.
Anything.
You're going to know damn well.
If there's 400 players, bro, if there's 400 players, 400 don't really want to be accountable if you to try to put them accountable for something. Like if I shot the ball 30 times, I know I shot the ball 30 times. Don't tell me I shot the ball. Don't tell me I shot the ball.
I remember every 30, every single one. I remember where I shot them.
I remember I looked you up, but don't tell me I did that. You hurt my feelings, because you're making me feel like I'm human when I have this. When you feel like you goated. You got to remember when you're in the sport, when you're in the locker room, we're animals.
Yes.
This is the jungle. So the way I walk in here, the way I talk in here, the way I move in here, I'm moving in this motherfucker a certain way for a reason, right? So what happens is, if you got a bunch of players that think they're lions, but they're really gazelles, the gazelles team up. We don't like them. Come on, you'll see, we don't hang out with them.
I don't know how he thinks of these analogies
y'all don't
on the
work
fly.
out.
That's crazy. I couldn't do that. I ain't gonna lie.
So why the fuck am I gonna pass y'all the ball, shake y'all hands and shit when you come in? What the dude, I ain't shaking his hand. I'm gonna look.
Man.
It's not like I have a bad attitude. I know his work ethic. That work ethic. Let it keep walking. But that's.
Bro,
Well, I gotta ask both of
Am
you.
I right though?
bro, listen.
Because I seen.
This is gospel.
No,
it's for
I seen it. So I was like, yo, he has a winning attitude. Like I don't want him guarding me.
I
Cause nothing hurts more when you that player.
call
Let
it
me get out.
prodigy shit, bro.
Cause when you that player that puts in so much work to win, and you just want to win so bad, you're so competitive, but then you see your other teammates just slacking, not doing what they're supposed to, just chilling, just going about life like it's just like they don't hold that same meaning, that same purpose, and the same passion you have for the game, and that's not just affecting them, it's affecting you and your potential, your progress. That's what hurts. That's what could hurt. Especially if like you in high school or something, you just got that a couple guys that don't really care that much. They're just playing just to play. They're playing for different reasons. That could crumble a whole lot of stuff down. There's so many factors that could go into winning in sports in general. It's not even just basketball. Sports in general.
Only a real gamer can talk about it from that perspective. Like, you've had to have had pressure on you to be able to talk about it from a perspective of, I know it's on me. I know it's on me. I'm goated for a reason. I'm not the guy that's trying to be the GOAT. I'm trying to be the GOAT herder.
And especially when you in the league and you got a legit legacy on the line. Like you got your career on the line. We talking about money on the line, the food on your table on the line. But you got another dude who over here complaining, but they don't got that same passion for the game and what you doing, trying to do what you do, but they just sitting back chilling and they not doing what they supposed to do. Are they not meeting the standards of you and how you see the game? That's what's gonna hurt.
Trying to tell the GOATs where to go. Y'all follow me, right? Be the leader of the leaders, right? And be able to have that.
That's
like,
why it's so tough. Because
to
that
know,
one or
like,
two
you've
players
been here.
on
We've
that
been
team
here.
who
We've been
could be talented as ever, but they don't get that passion, could just ruin the whole team.
The top. We always had the skill set that everybody respect. And everybody's like, hey man, that's one of them ones. Like, he understand it. He understand how it's supposed to be done. When you come in here and you lock in, and there's only a few of them that can actually lock in and be like, yeah, this is not only the night, but every night is the night whenever I want it to be, right? But it's the camaraderie. How does the locker room feel about that energy when you're losing? When you lose by 30 and Kobe has 60, and I feel any smile around energy in the locker room, I'm done.
Because he's not even smiling. And he has 60.
Kobe has 60. When you're losing, when you lose by 30 and Kobe has 60, and I feel any smile around energy in the locker room, I'm done.
Because he's not even smiling.
Nah, I don't get.
He mad that we gave up.
Yeah.
Kobe like, man, they gave up too early. I could have had 90 on them. I bet if I'd have known that. Like, if I'd have known that. And I'm over here like, I only got to guard him 6 times, but he scored once. Coach, leave me in a little bit longer. Let me get some more of that.
But see,
I want that. I want some more of that.
See, but that's accountability.
I want to ask both of y'all. You said 400 players in the league, right? How many guys do you think are actually winners? And I'm not talking about winners by association because they play on winning teams where they're led by these goal-level guys like you're talking about.
Mindset.
What percentage of the league do you actually feel like is winners?
It's hard to really know until you get inside that locker room. Because you got to remember.
You got to know the player.
There's a guy who's.
That's why you can't judge a book by its cover. You can say all this you want when you see a player from TV, when you see it from the outside, but once you really understand what's going on in that person's mind, not even just in basketball, I'm talking, this could just be in life in general. If you see somebody moving a certain way, but then you get to meet someone, pick their brain, that's when you begin to understand them. Don't jump to conclusions, put a pause to your conclusions. Put a pause to a conclusion. Now, if you meet the person, you pick their mind, you open-minded, then if you're right, you can resume the conclusions and make them even longer. But put a pause on it. Let go of any past what you call it, past notions or anything you got of that person or anything before you enter it, before you actually get to know it, and before you get to learn it and understand it.
On the last team in the NBA who can't sleep at night because of what's going on.
It's so bad.
He cringes, like it hurts. You gotta remember, you've been on a team, y'all lost by 30, then they're like, we gonna go to, I'm gonna be at the what's the name, meet me at the hotel. You got those guys, right? And then you got guys who's sitting there like irritated, like, but if I say something, they're gonna find me, they're gonna kick me off the team. You gotta remember, that's a winning attitude. He's just not in a winning situation, right? So his attitude comes off bad to the rest of this group.
Like you said, Jimmy Butler's a perfect example, like you said earlier.
The winner is being moved. We don't want this guy. Yeah. We want everybody here to be comfortable.
Yep.
Right?
That should tell you all you need to know about all the teams that Jimmy Butler was on before he ended up getting into Miami.
It's really hard to know until you go into a locker room and watch a game, watch a team lose, and then look at the locker room and see what happens. Right? Because you can have a guy who's out there averaging 30. That's just his gift. He don't really give about the winner.
He's not a winner. That's
He don't
what
give
I'm
a
saying.
fuck. But he can win. You can be there's winners on championship teams. That nigga ain't no winner. He's just on a team that was just great.
Yep.
The team was just great. He was part of the greatness of that team. But
The top guys just carried him.
as a winner,
It's called carrying.
winner is willing to get better, willing to push the mediocre guys to get better. So we would say Draymond Green is a winner. Right?
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly, that's a winner. Jimmy Butler, that's a winner. When you're talking about certain type of winning.
You know why though? They have the veteran spirit of a real vet, right? You look at how the vets came in and they gave you the accountability, right? Young fella, you gotta play the game the right way. Don't the game. You know what I'm saying? Do it right? So you got your veteran spirit. That's the Pat Beverleys, the Draymond Greens, where it's accountability first. Like, I'm gonna yell at you, Steph, like you should yell at me, right? Don't not yell at me because I'm the verbal one, and I'm always verbal. I took on that like early on in college of being the verbal talk on defense guy. You talk on defense, everybody assume you the leader because you're the only one talking. Nobody like to talk on defense. Nobody like. But if you're the only one, I got this. They like he must be the guy. He talking to the refs. He talking to everybody. But that's where you assume that veteran role, that energy of, man, let me tell y'all how to do this. This is how we're gonna do. We're gonna huddle up. We're gonna call this play before we call the play. We're gonna run this shit. We're gonna give it the counter to Gilbert. And, all right, 1, 2, 3, let's go. It's the energy. It's like everybody now, if we get down, we need come pump us up.
Yeah.
We need that energy. That's that leadership. And every team in
Gotta
the
have that
NBA
energy
lack that
every
because
night.
one, they don't want the vets to come around and teach the game the right way.
That's why a healthy AD with Pat Bev on that squad would be able to possibly make some noise, but AD hurt every other week or every other month. So,
but then two is just the lack of accountability. When you can go out there and turn the ball over and nobody say nothing to you because of who you are. Like Durant, LeBron, all like Westbrook, you shouldn't have possessions where somebody go back door and you just standing there like a cinder block and then they lay that thing up and it's just like nobody saying nothing. Ain't no timeout. Y'all ain't going ham. Ain't nobody saying
all
nothing.
the time. I be seeing that all the time on the Lakers. I ain't gonna lie to you. It'd be some goofy defensive lapse and it's just like nobody said nothing. Even then, it's gonna happen a lot on young teams as well because there's not really that vet on the squad, that vocal leader yet. You gotta wait for that person to rise and really present themselves and find that person who's kind of matured into that early on into their career. If not, already bring a vet on or a vet that's already on the team to be able to say things like that. But it happens everywhere, and it's not even accountability. Accountability is even beyond basketball itself. Real life too.
It's like it didn't happen.
That's a whole conversation for a different day.
It didn't happen, but we lose by 4, and you did that twice. And then nobody say nothing. We lost by 4. You got 2 bad defensive possessions. You post.
Now, does the course of time change? Of course it would. But still, if we're playing the numbers,
to be all defense.
Yep.
You got to make it make sense to me. So I always look at it like the veteran spirit now is lessened because they won't let the vet stay in the game long enough to show these players the accountability. Like, you got to have discipline. You good, you talented, but you don't know how to play.
Is it because they make too much money in his ego? So, like, you remember when Haslam and Jimmy Butler got into that
hold on, before you get to that, the logic of not having a vet on and just having a younger guy who, when teams say, let's get this young guy who we could pay the same amount as a vet, and he's young and he has potential too, so we can see what he could become. But imagine if you get that vet on your roster and how much he could teach that top young guy you got on your squad. Imagine how much you could teach him, because that young guy who's coming in, he ain't doing nothing except for trying to get his own. He don't really care about the wins. He cares about the numbers he's gonna put up in the box score, because those numbers in the box score gonna give him numbers on his contract. They're gonna get him numbers on his contract, so he's not gonna care to really progress the team as a whole. He's just gonna try to progress himself as a player, get himself established so he can make his bread. But if you really want to focus on how the team is able to develop and able to become better, you're going to want to get that veteran player, whether it's a guard, big, whatever. They could always teach you something, because the amount of players that they've been around their career, the amount that they've learned from by being a sponge for so many years, and even if they won or not, still they learn so much. The right vet with the right who's open to teaching that player could teach him so much more, and that progress of that one player that he could teach that top player would be so much more than taking a chance on getting a young guy, and hopefully he'll be able to maybe be a star or whatever it is.
What if Haslam was on a team like the Pelicans, and that was like BJ or Zion Williams? He gone.
Yeah.
No more bread for you.
Haslam gone.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because that team ain't built like that yet.
Yep.
People don't realize we're not talking about, see, before you got here, before you came into the NBA, my draft was the high school draft, right?
Yep.
That was the first of a group of high school. So those first 10, 12 picks, then 19. The average age is like 19 and a half, right? Before that, you're talking about 21, 22-year-old guys, 20-year-old guys coming into the NBA. So usually there was one young player on a team where that one person, right, that Kobe Bryant has to be this
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
So he has to adult fast.
Real fast.
He can't play the young card. When I came in, it's me, Jason Richardson, Troy Murphy. The next year,
Gil be getting his nails done. Jay got Jay on his routines. Gil on his routines.
Levy and Yuri. So there's out of
You on that
15
hygiene.
guys, 6 of them are under
Shit
the
on
age of
that
20.
hygiene.
So that's a whole different locker room. Don't tell 20.
Let's go.
So that's a whole different locker room. Don't tell me shit. A veteran can't tell me shit. No. Go get some cookies. Fuck you and them cookies.
real quick.
Like, you gotta remember, my first year, beat up. Second year, more young, you can't tell that shit. Ain't nobody getting no goddamn cookies for you, boy. But that's what ends up happening. There's so many young kids in the NBA that you don't want to be a veteran.
Oh, man.
What you gonna tell them? Hey, come on, hey, young,
Yo,
let's
listen.
shut your old ass up. You already know. We did it.
But I couldn't wait to be a vet.
I know.
The way they treated me, I couldn't wait to be a vet. I was like, I can't wait to make this so much hell on the next. Ooh, you gonna hate me.
Ooh, but then they deal with one of us. A hard-headed person who don't want to listen, because we didn't want to listen.
Exactly. And that's the unfortunate part about it, because it's like, I think it's something that they should go through, especially like the small hazing part, because it lets you know that the vets care. Like we care about you, young fella, but look, go get all of those balls. Hey, everybody kick the balls in the
These balls in the stands.
Go get them all. Bring them back down. Go get them all. We're going to do little stuff to you to make you mad.
Nah, that's cruel.
That's showing us tough love.
Yeah.
That's really what I felt
Kick the
from,
ball
from,
into the
from
stands,
my
tell 'em to go get
experience
it.
was like they accepted
Fellas
me
look
once
like
I passed the
bitch.
test. It was like, all right,
Ain't
young
no
fella
dog,
ain't one of
bruh.
those that is gonna refuse it and make it hard on. It was like, hey, young fella, when we tell you go do something, you better go do it. We're not gonna whoop your ass or nothing, but look, we gonna blackball you. Like, you're not coming with us to eat on the trips.
Bruh.
You're not getting the lobs from the big jump. Like, I got a lot of lobs for just, doing my part. Like, hey, go get the condoms, go get the beer, go get the pizza, all right, I got you. All ticket money was donuts in the morning.
The crazy thing is they would probably dead not throw the ball, like throw the pass. Even if that means they end up losing by 1 point and they ain't throw the pass to him and they miss out getting that 2, they could have won the game. They'll just be like, oh, you should have went and go get the beers. You should have went and go get the condoms. You should have went and go get the food. You should have went and go get the balls out the stands.
Bring the donuts, young, and don't forget them. He didn't even eat them.
Didn't even eat them.
He threw them away. He literally got them and threw them every morning. He threw them all away. I'm like,
Can somebody have a donut?
They just
Can
tested.
somebody have a donut?
No,
Hey, KG, can somebody have a donut?
no.
Bull right here, he the type of dude to get him at the trash can. Can I have one? We can wait till everybody leave. Grab himself a donut.
Don't touch them donuts. God damn it. Move. Throw them shits away.
What it is, he gave him a responsibility. He gave him an assignment, a responsibility. I want to see if he can complete this. You got to remember, there's games that we play with each other that seems like it has nothing to do with nothing, but it does. I'm giving him a job, one job, get the donuts every morning, right? I want to see, if I asked him 82 times, I want to see if he does it 82 times. If he can do it 82 times, I can trust his work ethic. I can trust him.
Was it a particular donut order? Was it just a hodgepodge?
Regular glazed Krispy Kreme.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yo, them Krispy Kreme donuts will mess you up. Like, bad. Like, if you ever looked at the nutrition label, next time you go get some Krispy Kreme donuts, look at the nutrition label. Search up the nutrition label to a Krispy Kreme glazed donut. You're not going to want to eat any of them ever again. I ain't going to lie to you. You're going to look at the nutrition label, you're going to be like, this is why I was tired at practice. I was tired. I'm telling you, bro, they really mess you up. Once you realize what you eating,
Morning, 8
Once you
a.m.
realize
though,
what you
fresh
actually
off the
eat.
joint. He knew if I cheated, I got cheated a couple times.
And they weren't warm?
No, I got him the night before.
Okay.
And the glaze dripped off of it. Right? So it wasn't like
that's
fresh
where you messed
glaze.
up.
And he opened the box and he went crazy, man. Like, ticket is a crazy, but like that, once you pass that threshold, like I seen that he opened up his Rolodex for me. Like, he opened up his, like, I can trust young fella, like, come to the crib, like, we going out, meet me here, like, I'm the buddy, you know what I'm saying? And when you feel that, it's like, I did pass the test. I'm whatever you need, ticket. I'm the little bodyguard. I'm little Marlo with the joint. Like, what's up? What we need? What we
But
going?
see, people don't.
No autograph. He ain't getting no autograph. Stop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
little rookie to security guard.
People, before NBA security got into the NBA, a teammate was the bodyguard.
100%.
That's real.
Now think about it.
And the bodyguard was a person on the roster ain't nobody knew. So he could just be blocking out his way and nobody don't care about who's blocking the way.
How can I trust just any old teammate if I didn't put him through shit? How do I know he's a rider if I didn't put him through shit? So if I'm going to the club and somebody try to stick me up, is this man gonna run? I done tested him all year. I know he ain't gonna run now. Come on, young fella. Hey, hold my jewelry. Got that bag full of money.
Man, we literally there thinking
That's
like we
facts,
gotta
though.
protect Gil. And if it ain't a we, it's a I got to. It's a all right.
They ain't even having no fun.
No fun. Like literally, it's the night I'm choosing. I'm like, man, it's some bad ones in here, but I know if I'm off tilt and I miss the shot, he gonna be pissed. He never gonna party with me. He never gonna call me. I gotta be on my 10 toes. Like, especially with like a nigga like Ticket, like he was always precise, strategic. You know what I'm saying? It was never like he wanted to be out in the public and it was always duck off. So I made sure like, I was always ahead of him. one or two steps. Like, nah, we got that. Nah, it's all good. I done already peeped the little situation. We good. I done made sure ain't nobody out here. We good. So that gave it, the other sense of trust for him. Like, yo, I can show you the world now. I can show you how we do on the off season. Like, yeah, this how you move this way. This is, you need accounts. You need to get this. You need a manager. You need. It was like, yo, that's what the NBA brotherhood
kicking game
that you can feel when you top tier or trying to get to that level. A lot of guys don't be understanding. They might not know my name in those lights, but I was next up. I got pushed out. So
I guess for some people, it's gonna be they gonna have to test you to see if they want to give you game. Other people, you may be lucky to come across somebody who's just willing to give out just free game like that. Some people gonna hold their knowledge in and be like, dang, could I really trust him with this? Why should I give him game? Why should I put him on to this? Or why should I put him on to that? You gotta be careful. Like, some people, you just gotta be aware of that. Some people may just be testing you and they really got a lot to show you, but they may just be testing you.
You'll know as far as.
And then in time, pick their brain. Even if they not willing to share, maybe nudge at them a little bit. If you got a teammate, somebody knows something that you don't know, but you want to learn about it, don't be scared to ask questions.
Being an all-star.
You'll never know until you ask.
If there's a line for that, you're putting a line and there's an expectation. Sometimes you get knocked off that line because that expectation is now out the window. It's unreachable. But at one point you was climbing that ladder and you was trying to get to that next level, and everybody that you look like, I look at CP, I look at Carmelo, these are guys in my class, Amari is my class. I'm like, man, I was right there with them. I messed it up. I'm accountable for my mistakes.
Hey, so that's part 1 of this interview. There's another part 2. I'm gonna watch that, upload that maybe the next day or the day after that. But for now, make sure you subscribe, like, turn on those notifications. If you made it to the end, I mess with you heavy. Made it to the end. Make sure you drop that like. We're trying to get more reactions in. We're going to watch more podcasts. Let me know what other podcasts you want to watch. I'm going to watch more basketball ones in general. All that good stuff. So, hey, part 1 done. Part 2 next. And we out of here.